change in the next 3 weeks, but as it stands right now, you have to leave out the division leaders for the following question. Which team could you imagine making one of those miracle runs to Super Bowl 58, Jace?
Miracle runs.
Miracle.
I feel like when it's going to be a miracle run, it's a team that obviously you didn't expect it in the beginning of the season. And there's just something special about the identity of this team or the players on this team. And that's why I'm going with the Indianapolis Colts, led by their quarterback, Gardner Minshew. When you talk about a miracle, I want all the Gardner stuff that you want to talk about. Everything from his personality off the field, but more importantly to how he is playing on the field. Saturdays, he takes on the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, throws for 3 touchdown passes, the first one of this season. And in that division, you look at there's 3 teams that are all 8-6, and the way the Jaguars have been playing, we're saying a team that's not the division leader, but who knows what could happen for the Indianapolis Colts as these last 3 games come upon us. So I want to watch them, everything about them. Gus Bradley having a hell of a game against the Steelers, giving up those 13 points and then shutting them out the rest of the game. But just give me more and more Gardner Minshew and what he's been able to do, taking over for Anthony Richardson and everything that Shane Steichen has drawn up. And you was just around Gardner and that Indianapolis Colts team this past weekend.
Very impressive. It was so cool to see him operate. And what's really awesome, too, is that Anthony Richardson is now back, post-surgery, and watching the two of them be awesome teammates together. And it just seems like everyone is vibing. And if you get certain pieces back on defense as well, and Michael Pittman, you hope he comes back after that injury he suffered last weekend, I think it could be a really cool team. They have grit, and I think they don't care where they play.
Our guy Daniel Jeremiah has something that I'm always amused by, where he has, for quarterbacks, he has what they call the confetti test, where if you close your eyes, can you picture that quarterback standing in the confetti holding a Super Bowl? Jason, does Gardner Minshew pass the confetti test?
Not only does he pass it, he will not be standing. He will be down on the ground doing angels, throwing a confetti up in the air. It will be a hell of a moment that we would love.
I think it's important, again, to say it's a story I told on the game on Saturday, but it's one of these things that you can't not say enough, is that Gardner Minshew lives in a van or a bus. He picks which one in the offseason. He lives in Naples, Florida. And when he said Naples to me on the call, I said, voluntarily? Because most of these guys live in Scottsdale or Malibu. He goes, yeah, I really choose to live in Southwest Florida in the offseason. He parks the van in the gym parking lot in Bonita Springs, Florida. He works out, he goes to the beach, he runs routes with his buddies, and in his free time, he plays pickleball against women that are older than him. I specifically don't use the phrase he used, which is old ladies. I say women that are older than him. And sometimes if they come up on the net.
Gotta do it.
See, where'd he play college football?
Washington State.
What is their mascot called?
The Cougar.
I mean, that would have been so easy, Jamie.
I thought that would,
So, okay, Peter, I'll keep telling the story. So
then his offseason continues after the pickleball match.
I said Ryan Leaf was on the show today reminiscing about you coming to Washington State. Do you keep up with Ryan? And he said, no, I got to do a better job keeping up with my Cougs.
There you go.
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, he's doing a good job keeping up with the Cougs.
Yeah. And sometimes they would run into Oregon State. I'm going to talk about the Rams because they've already passed the confetti test. They got the guy who has already done it. What if Stafford runs this thing back? And it's not just Stafford. Everybody keep it together. Come on. McVay, Cooper, all this. I'm going to talk about the Rams. Do they have enough defense? I don't know. If you just go into the pure stats of it and their rankings defensively, it's not that great. They're 19th in this. They're 20th in that. I don't know if they have the defense, but it's also a little bit skewed because when you look at those, well, we're such and such in the passing yards allowed per game. That's good for the whole season. The season is long. Over the past month, the defense has been much better and significantly better. In fact, 5 of their last 6 games, they haven't even got up 20 points.
Yeah.
They have the been there factor. How many of these wild card teams would do respect to the Gardner Minshews, the Jake Brownings, whatnot? Stafford's a dog, guys. He's been there. He's afraid of nothing. And let's just talk about the NFC for a second. Philadelphia right now is broken. Dallas is fragile. Detroit, I still think there's a few lingering trust issues that we have in them. It's going to take somebody not caring about San Francisco and beating them one day. How about a guy who plays them twice every single year, who is a division opponent, and McVay goes in there and flips the table on Shanahan and blows our minds that they beat San Francisco in the playoffs? Again, I think it's the Rams because they got the guys who have been there.
They got the pedigree, and we always talk about coaching quarterback, right? So Josh Allen and Sean McDermott are the shiny object right now. Everyone's looking at those guys as like, this is the team. And the Bills, they have a very manageable schedule up ahead. And I think we all can say that the Bills are the hottest team right now after 2 wins over major players in the Chiefs and then what they did to the Cowboys. Quietly, another team that's got back-to-back wins that I just love their moxie right now. A team that we saw on Saturday on the NFL Network. Jason was there calling the game. the Cincinnati Bengals have that scar tissue and the moxie and have been there before as well. Like, you talk about the Rams, Bengals, everyone wrote off, but now that Browning's out there looking like he's Joe Burrow Jr., they've got a lot of guys who have played in huge games also. I love their schedule coming up. They go into Pittsburgh where they could just gut the Steelers, their longtime nemesis. They could just kill their season. Then they go to Arrowhead, a place where, oh, by the way, this Bengals team had won before in an AFC Championship game, and last year, a couple things go a different way, would have won again. They go in there with their season on the line, and then they finish the season with a battle against the Browns that's going to be an all-time epic. Browning, to me, is one of the great stories of the league. We know that we went through this with Tommy DeVito and Josh Dobbs, and we even had a moment where we were rallying around backup quarterbacks who aren't even still the backup quarterback. Browning's not going anywhere. We know his deal. He was on the practice squad for the Vikings for years, gets released about 20 times, was picked up, let go, picked up, let go, attaches himself to Burrow over the offseason and says, I'm going to train with your quarterback guru. I'm going to learn everything from you. Whether or not they are peers or that one of them looks up to the other one, it doesn't matter. They look at each other as equals. And right now, the way he's playing and what he did on the game that you called, I'm not betting against him. Jake Browning is doing it, and Zach Taylor is calling all the right shots in the big spots. I like the Bengals. I like what they've been through, and as hard as their schedule is on this way out, like the way to finish the season, I would have said it 2 weeks ago, and yet they still won those games.
It's so cool because he said as a backup, he would go into the defensive meeting room and meet with the defensive players and just listen to the things they would say. And he said he surprised himself because he was like, I give them a lot more credit. They're really not that smart. The things that they're looking at really isn't difficult at all. And he talked about him and Burrow, their relationship on the sideline. Like, you think Burrow's on the sideline giving him all these tips. He was just like, no, he just gives me assurance. Like,
is that right?
A bad play comes off. He's like, dang, I should have threw a. He was like, no, the guy should have caught the ball. Like, it's a great play by you. So they're dynamic in their relationship. He's told Burrow, like, hey, while you're injured, just start popping in the defensive
meeting room. Let me
ask
one more Jake Browning question because the viral clip was him saying they shouldn't have cut me beating the Vikings. Different coach, different GM, but to you, like, it's just a logo? Is that how it looks? Like,
no doubt about it, because it represents your experience there. So, and he said that after. He's like, I acknowledge it's different people, but it's still that feeling that you get when you see the logo and you see the purple. And he had it, and give him credit. He waited till after the game as the field goes going through. It's like, you should have cut me. I like it.
We know the NBC executives are waiting to see which game, Week 18, is going to be the win and in. It could be that Bengals-Browns game. It's a battle of the backup quarterbacks with Jake Browning. And I go with Joe Flacco, another quarterback that has done the confetti test because we've seen it. Just wasn't with the Browns. It was in Super Bowl 47 with the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens clinched their division that season in mid-December. They host their first playoff game at home, and then they have to go on the road. It eventually becomes the Harbaugh Bowl that we know it as in the 2012 postseason, that game being played in New Orleans. And Joe Flacco was the Super Bowl MVP. He was a Super Bowl champion, and he had the fourth most passing yards ever that 2012 postseason with over 1,100. Joe Flacco knows how to do this. Just get him there. Now, whether or not, and we know what the defense can do. We know what he's trying to piece together. Kevin Stefanski, has he won back-to-back Coach of the Week honors, Peter?
I will give it to him. As long as they've got this unit out there winning games, he will get it every week.
Okay, so Kevin Stefanski is making magic out of it, too. So the Browns, they could come running, but the fact that in the AFC North we have seen struggle upon injury struggle, we could see a Bengals-Browns win and in Week 18, which would be electric.